Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Maybe You Should Talk. It is the podcast about nothing and everything. And as always, I am one of your hosts, John Para, and I'm joined, as always, by my brother and co host,
J Baba.
And on today's episode, we actually have a special guest, Jay, that I'm excited to speak to.
Hell yeah.
But before we get into introducing the guest, Jay, how have you been?
I've been all right, man. Tough week, up and down. Sports drives me crazy, but we're not going to get into that. We're here for a good time.
We're here for a good time. That's right. I know the Giants lost last night, and that was a pretty brutal loss, to say the least.
Dog shit.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Madrid won, though.
There we go.
Beat Barcelona in the Clásico. Bellingham, best
there we
player
go.
in the world.
The positives,
Number
man,
5.
and keeping on with the theme of positives. Let's get into introducing the special guest that we have tonight. So this is actually an individual that I grew up with in high school. Once upon a time, we were really close friends. We ran track together. One of the funnier dudes. JP? Yeah, I ran track.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
I ran track every day.
There you go. The JP day of the fact of the day. I ran track with this guy for about 2 years, and like anything in life, right, you kind of get distance because people go their separate ways. But I've always had a lot of respect for this individual. He's a father. He's actually also a veteran, so we got to salute this man and thank him for his service. And he's an avid Funko Pop collector. Some of you might know him as Mr. Sergeant Funko. People closer to him know him as Enrique. Ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by Enrique himself. What's up, man?
You're so charming. Hey, guys. How are you doing?
That was a hell of an introduction, by the way.
Was it really?
Yeah, that was top notch.
Wait, I'm confused. When did I become a father? Who in Western York did I leave behind?
You don't have kids?
I thought you had kids.
Yo,
I could have sworn.
No, bro.
I could have sworn you had a kid, Enrique.
Trust me. Listen, I spent my whole military career avoiding every stereotype. I never got anybody pregnant. I never got married in the military. I never got a shitty tattoo. I never bought a BMW right out, getting out of boot camp.
You want the extra check to get married?
I didn't get no BAH for me, not yet. Well, right now, yeah, no, I don't have kids, bro. Don't wish that evil upon me.
You gotta work on my research then, Jay.
Where the fuck did you find that? Wikipedia.
Nah, I think you know what it was. I think I might have seen a photo of you like holding a baby, and I just assumed that was like your son.
Could be a fucking nephew or something,
bro. I know.
I love that intro.
Maybe I should just hang up the fucking
that
the
was
towel.
A good intro.
Until why don't you just go with it, Enrique?
Yeah, my son is 7 years old.
We're gonna keep the true story going. Come on,
I don't know
the
mother.
Well, I'll tell you what, but that's one hell of a way to freaking kick this thing off, man. So, Enrique, I know we got a little bit sidetracked there,
yeah, it's fine.
Talking about your non-existent kid, but how you been, man?
Man. We'll get into that, but I'm here. I'm alive. You got my heart going up a little bit with that laughter, right? But no, I'm here, man. I'm alive. I currently live in Virginia.
Okay.
I've been all over, so I'm just here with my wife. I'm married now. I didn't see that.
That you are. That's true.
Yeah. That is
okay.
True.
Okay.
Yeah. I got one thing right.
Yeah.
2 things right, actually. Actually, 3.
You got most of it right.
I got most of it right.
Nigga hit a foul ball. Bing!
So, you know what's like the interesting and cool thing about this specific call that we're doing today? Well, not really a call. I feel like I'm like, it's like I'm in a fucking work right now.
Check out of work, my guy. It's fucking 9 o'clock at night. This guy's on a roll today.
I'm like fucking swinging,
batting 1,000.
Yeah, pretty much. But nah. And all jokes aside, though, but no, specifically about this podcast is that we have 2 other people, 3 of you include me, that are from West New York, and we all went to the same high school. Granted, I know before we started recording, Enrique, you had told us that you didn't really meet Jay, or this is the first time you're actually meeting him. So
he looks familiar.
Maybe I don't remember.
I didn't have a beard in high school.
I thought you
Just
did,
saying.
Jay.
Nah. Hell no.
Okay.
I didn't get this shit to like 22.
So the art that they showed the other last episode was kind of true then.
What, the no beard?
Yeah.
It's right behind me, you jerk off. But yeah, nah, it has no beard. I don't know why. Maybe that's his characters, bro.
Probably, but we already got to that, man. So
This guy
and
talks like he has a beard. Fuck.
Damn. Damn.
Like,
Jay's on one today. Okay, throwing shots already, Jay.
you started.
Nah, it's all love. It's all love. But yeah, man. So Enrique, man. So for like the listeners that are tuning in, how would you describe West New York and what it was like growing up in that area?
West New York was very interesting. That's very, very interesting.
To say the least.
Yeah, no, like looking at it from the outside now, like in elementary school, I was getting into fights. Yeah, so like it was a rough environment, but I don't know, I couldn't see myself growing up anywhere else, just because I guess maybe who I am is part of it. You know, I didn't know that the rest of the world, or at least the rest of America, didn't have stores in Spanish writing before I left. You get me? Like that was like looking at it now where I grew up or where I lived in like North Carolina and everywhere else in Korea and everything. Like I don't know why that stuck with me so hard, but like everywhere you go in Western Europe, you see La Bodega and you see like things in Spanish, and I thought that was just the rest of the world, and it wasn't. Like, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool, whatever. But no, man, there was a lot of good times and a lot of bad times with anything. I would get into fights a lot in elementary school, and there would be criminal activities happening and different things happening, different stories. At Memorial, bro, there was like a fight probably every day, right? I don't even know. I remember seeing certain individuals fighting on YouTube too, like when YouTube was first a thing and posting videos on the fights and stuff like that. But
yeah, there was definitely
very
Memorial
hostile environment.
It
Who remembers
was
the food fight?
Bro, I remember that.
I was a freshman
bro.
when that shit happened.
Now that you just mentioned it, I remember
That shit was
shit,
2004, bro. And it was around October because it was basketball season. I was on the basketball team, and our game got canceled.
Do we even know how that started?
So
I've heard like multiple stories, yo.
Yeah.
So like who initiated the first like?
Yeah. So I'll kind of tell what I know, and then Jay, you kind of fill in what you thought was or what they
I can't
told
say
you.
no names though. I can't say no names.
Bro, it was like fucking like 19 years ago.
I can't say names, bro. Street code, bro. We're from West New York.
Oh, come on, bro. It was 19 years ago. These kids are not going to get arrested.
19 years ago. How old are you, bro? You're 40?
2004.
2004 is...
Yeah, do the math, dog.
Yeah, it was 19.
Holy shit, I'm old.
Yeah, we're both on some shit tonight.
Yo, damn, that's a lot. Nah, because I was, you know why? I was kind of confusing it with my reunion. But 04 was the year I went into high school.
Okay.
I was a little mixed up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was doing the wrong math.
No, it's all good.
I went to my reunion a couple years ago. There's no way. That shit is almost 20 years. It's like, what? But I was getting the numbers mixed up.
That's funny.
Nah, it's all good, bro. We'll recover.
Yeah, we're good. We're back.
Yeah, we're back. But yeah, no. So from what I was told, it had to do because of midterms. I guess they tried to extend.
No, yeah, I'm saying who started it.
Like, oh no! I think you meant
the initial. No, I know the
that.
Reason
I don't
behind...
know.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know that.
Yeah, that I don't know. But as far as the actual story, it was because they were trying to throw.
Yeah, we were rioting. We were walking out. It was supposed to be a walkout.
That's hilarious.
Right,
it became a food fight. I heard about the walkout.
Food fight.
I didn't get the memo about the food fight.
Yeah,
I heard
that
about the
just
walkout.
happened because we were locked in the cafeteria.
Oh,
yo, that shit was mayhem, yo.
No,
that
really
shit was crazy. You were in the cap?
I was in class when it happened, but
I was in the cafeteria. That was my lunch period. It was the fifth period, whatever it was. It was like the first lunch. Because there was 3 lunches. Remember those 3 lunches?
5th, 6th, and 7th. Oh, yeah,
exactly.
I remember that. Yeah.
And it was 5th lunch, like 11:30, 11:45, bro. Cafeteria was packed with food.
You
That's
know,
crazy.
it was crazy. And so like to kind of provide a little bit of detail for like the listeners, because obviously, you know, we know the story in detail because we lived it, but you know, they're listening to it for the first time. Yeah, so it was basically over some midterms. They tried to what you call it, add another one, and I
Make
guess
it 3 instead of 2.
correct, and then it was all for nothing because we still had to do the three anyways. But
But we made the news, baby.
we did. But the student the student body was basically kind of spreading the word like, hey, you know, we're gonna protest and do all this other stuff. And you know, the only thing that I remember from it was basically being in class and then just watching a bunch of kids run out of the cafeteria with food being thrown behind them. So Enrique, were you in class when that happened?
I was in class. Do you remember what class you were in?
I was in Spanish class.
I was in history.
I was
Okay.
in the cafeteria.
I was in history right next to the cafeteria, but like I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
That shit was
In the
crazy.
annex,
I was sitting like at the table. Like I saw the throw of the
That's
milk.
crazy.
It was a milk that started it. One milk, bro. And
Did it
that shit
happen all
was
like in sequence?
Dude,
Like, oh, here you go,
bro.
the milk's happening. Let's go.
Nah, it was like the milk,
Uh-huh.
and then somebody was like, "Food fight!" Yo, and it was just like food fucking everywhere. Yo. I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
That's
Let me
crazy.
throw my milk and bounce.
Did you get hit?
I got like a little splatter and
Okay,
shit, but it was
okay.
like, yo, it was like fucking crazy, bro. It was like, you remember the
Yeah, it was-
cafeteria? That shit was like a fucking can of sardines.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, and it was raining that day too. I don't know if you guys
Oh,
remember
okay,
that.
but everybody was inside.
Yeah, and then eventually,
Yeah,
I don't know about you guys, but my teacher was like, "Listen, I'm not telling you guys that you have to go home, but I wouldn't recommend you stay here." So we all gradually just started to leave, and then to Jay's point, there were like people from the press that were outside, like taking photos and
That's
shit.
wild,
Cops,
bro. Yeah, I remember the
everything. It was
cameras. I
wild.
remember that, but that's crazy. That's
Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was like this wild thing. And then, you know, one of the things specifically, Enrique, that I remember about you is I remember one time, this was back when A&P and Pathmark were still around. And they were having like this, I guess, seminar in the cafeteria. And Produce Pete was there. And Produce Pete was like, you know, I guess the spokesperson for Pathmark at the time that would show all the produce and like, you know, tell you what to look for. And I remember being late to that, you know, like I typically was to everything. And I'm trying to sneak in, and Enrique probably remembers this. And, you know, for everybody that was listening, you know, I've kind of spoken about the fact that I used to rap and, you know, I used to go by the name of True Story.
Yeah.
And
JP without no glasses.
JP without no glasses, yes. And as I'm trying to sneak in, it's like dead quiet because he knows where this is going.
Oh,
And
my heart.
I'm gonna say the PG version because I'm not trying to get canceled. But basically, all I hear in the silence is, "Oh, it's my God, True Story," and he starts clapping super loud.
Who was this?
That was Enrique. Yeah. He was.
He's not lying. Every time I saw this dude, I guess I didn't know he was trying to sneak in. I would be like, "Oh, it's my True Story." But
That's
super loud
funny.
in the hallways.
Yeah, like that was
everywhere, in
like
class.
that was like, you know, the thing. And like I remember the teacher at the time, like, you know, saw me obviously because my boy over here kind of pointed me out.
Yeah.
And she's like, "See me after class."
Detention.
Oh man, I'm an asshole. But
Yeah. Nah, listen, but it makes for good stories though, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's stuff that you could look at years later and laugh about. And you know, this is going to be a good transition into, you know, your military life. But one of the things I also remember about Memorial was, and Jay, you probably remember this too, when the recruiters, the Army recruiters, used to come to the cafeteria and try to do these challenges.
I wouldn't even make eye contact with them niggas. Yo. I want no parts. I was like, yo, I want no parts of you, bro.
But
I never ran into them.
Really?
Yeah.
Bro, Journal Square, you go to court. It was at the bus stop. I told him I was a barber. He's like, "Oh, you know you make more money in the Army?" I was like, "Yo, I'm good, my bro. I'm good, bro. I don't need insurance right now. I'm 20 years old."
It's crazy, Enrique, though, that you never saw them there. And you know, as you get older, you start to meet different crowds of people, and like you talk to people and you ask them like, hey, did you ever have like army recruiters like come to your school? And the answer is typically no.
Really?
So yeah, like it's
Okay.
interesting how based on our environment, you know, that's something that we're kind of introduced to. I know, Jay, you want to say something?
Yeah, do you remember when they would bring the guys from jail and
They
like
did that?
in the gym and they would talk to you about like
Oh no,
making
I never
choices?
went to one of those.
What? Oh, you was absent? We all
Nah,
went
they
to the
just gave
same
up. They're like,
school.
this fucker's definitely going to jail. Who cares if he do your shit?
Yeah, bro, it was like inmates, like
Oh, no
straight
shit.
up inmates,
I
bro.
never
I,
knew
And they
they
I
did
would
that
share
scare
stories.
straight bullshit.
yeah,
Mhm.
no,
Weird.
I
That's
do
news to me.
vaguely remember
I
that.
remember that.
Wow.
It was crazy. So, you know, I thought that that was sort of your introduction to the military, Enrique, but it sounds like that wasn't how you got into it. So,
Nope.
what led you down that path?
I ran into recruiters when I was going to community college. That's
Wow,
when they started running in Bergen. Yeah.
in Bergen.
Mhm.
And
And how old were
was
you?
yeah,
I was at the time 18.
Man, they got you young.
Yeah, so I joined when I was 19.
Sheesh.
At
So
first, it
your
was the Marine
21,
Corps.
your 21st party was in the what branch
I was in
did you
the Army.
serve? Army. Okay.
Yeah. The Marine Corps were the
Yeah.
first ones to approach me, but the Army they were the more persistent ones. They come after me hard. They came to pick me up and drove me through
Yeah,
it.
they picked me up a couple times.
Yeah.
Cause I actually took the ASVAB. That's what it's called.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, I took that shit.
Yeah.
Waste of
I
time.
took it. I took it twice. I think.
I should have
No,
taken it twice.
once.
The first time I flunked that shit.
No, I took the practice, and then I went to go take the official one somewhere. I don't even know where the fuck they took me.
Yeah, I'm not a good test taker.
Yeah.
With my test scores, they were like, "Yeah, you're going to infantry." With my test scores, you wanted to do what? Communications? Nah.
That's funny.
Yo, I
So
flunked that test terribly.
yeah, a lot of people do because it's hard. But like, Enrique, did you think that that was gonna be your career? Like, did you think that you were gonna go into the military? Like, was that ever in your mind to begin with?
Uh, there were thoughts, but I know I never thought I was going to go into the military. The reason I joined is because we grew up in Western Europe, and we either see people that like start working hard, or they kind of stay doing the same bullshit. And I kind of knew if I stayed there in Western Europe, I don't know, I wasn't gonna have a future. I didn't want to like flip burgers or do anything like that. And community college was the college at that time wasn't for me. So I joined, and I always tell everybody that asks me why I joined. I joined the Army for selfish reasons. That was the initial intent. Everybody says I joined for the love of my country and whatever, and I do love my country, but that wasn't it. It was selfish reasons. I didn't know what to do. I needed money, and they said they would pay for my college if I decided to go to college. Right now, I did my 3 years because I agreed to do 3.5 years, and then I decided to reenlist because I guess you could say I drank the Kool-Aid, but the culture there made sense to me. And like you pointed out, I joined at 19, so I joined young. I became a man in the military. I learned how to do things in the military, and I was kind of forced to like do a sped up version of it because as soon as I got to Fort Knox, nobody was holding my hands. Yeah, nobody was holding my hand. You befriended people at boot camp and stuff, but you got to figure out for your shit. You got to figure out your stuff for yourself, for your shit, and kind of grow up because people will take advantage of you. People will, you got to look out for yourself and surround yourself with good people. But I joined for selfish reasons. I re-enlisted because I like the culture and I was all about the structure in the Army and stuff like that. And I got out just due to my body being banged up. So, and I could go more into detail if you want of like what I actually did in the military and like everything else where I've been. But yeah, once I got past my initial contract, I wanted to make it a lifelong career.
Oh, so you were gonna be a lifer?
Yeah, initially when I joined, no, but once I was in that, yeah.
Gotcha. It's pretty cool, man. Thank you for your service, dog.
Yeah, for sure. First and foremost, thank you for your service. I think the first question I wanted to ask you, and this is probably something that I know joining the military is something that crossed my mind, but
Crosses
the
every male
yeah,
at 17, 19 years old.
no, it
Yes.
really does. And the reason why I never joined was more because of my parents. And at the time I was 17 when I was really considering it. So when you made that decision to join the military, did you talk to your parents? And if so, what was their take on it?
Yeah, so I actually have a similar story to you. I was looking to get into the military when I was 17 at first, but then I chose not to because my mother was like talking me out of it. But then at 19, I didn't see anything changing for myself, so I kind of did it. And at the time, my mother and I were straight, so she kind of found out when I told her, and she was there to say goodbye to me. And then I was living with my father at the time, and he was cool with it. And he would tell me throughout the years I was proud that I was serving, La Patria,
Hmm.
country. And yeah, I mean, it was kind of my decision, and I made it. I made the final decision. They were there to, see me
At least
off,
they were
and
supportive
yeah, for the most part, yeah.
for
I
the
mean,
most part.
you know, I love my parents. We always didn't, when I was younger, especially, we always didn't. We butted headed sometimes. I was either butt headed with my father or butt headed with my mother. But yeah, they were supportive and they were proud of me and so proud of me. Well, my mom's still proud of me. But yeah.
No, that's dope, man. And I think you mentioned something that was interesting right now, which was that you bought into the culture. So
Mm.
do you think you bought into the culture because of what you saw, or do you think you bought into it because of what was ingrained into you?
I bought into the culture because of the people around me. Yeah, it's not that I was brainwashed. It's that the structure made sense to me, and the people that I don't get along with everybody that's in the military. And I've had arguments and almost fistfights, and have had fistfights in the military. But there are people that you're gonna just get along with, and you live with those people, you eat with those people, you go on the weekends and do whatever the fuck you want with those people. You train with them, you go and fight with them. Like I consider some of the people that I served with closer to my own blood, just because I was in the military for almost 10 years. So, like I see these people every day, and
Yeah,
it's just like I know this motherfucker's gonna have my back, and I'm gonna
it's
have
a
his back.
brotherhood.
And yeah, it's not everybody, right? But you build your cliques. You build your cliques within your platoon, within your company, whatever. And that's what I like that. And then when I was forced to get out, fast forwarding, like when I made the decision, I can't do this anymore. My back and my knees are like done. I decided to get I got my bachelor's while I was still in the military, and then I decided to get my master's after. And getting the first time I stepped foot into that classroom, or just went to like an event, it wasn't the same, bro. I felt like there's no bond here. Everybody's kind of like an individual, and like we're arguing about shit that really doesn't matter, and
Hmm.
like that fake kind of like, oh hey, nice to see you, but like nobody gives a shit. Like
Yeah,
it was kind of like, whoa, that like kind of hit me because again, it's a different culture. So like I don't know, I got used to it eventually. I mean, I never was that way, and but like I got more used to it. Like, oh, this person's this way, whatever. But yeah, it was kind of like crazy. It was a culture shock when I got up. It was a culture shock, and it's like the rest of the world doesn't give a fuck. The world in Western Europe and in Florida and wherever you are has kept going while you were gone. So you need to fit back in. Like they don't people don't understand why I'm acting a certain way or why I'm observing things. They're just like, oh, you're just an angry veteran, or just like, oh, you're fucking old fashioned, or you're racist, or you're sexist, or whatever, because I talk a certain way. Because I tell you straight up what needs to be done or whatever. People, instead of seeing it like, oh, this guy's honest with me, and oh, let's fix this problem. Oh, he's an asshole. He's an asshole. He hurt my feelings, whatever. Yeah, so like it's just a different culture. Is yeah.
And I could definitely see that because, and Jay, you probably have friends that were in the military, and when they come out of boot camp, the communication is always, "Oh, you're a civilian."
some of them know how to turn it on and off pretty good. Most of my close military friends, they turn it off pretty good. There's some that are like fucking robots now, bro. And I'm
Really?
like, God damn, yeah, bro. I have one, but like, shouts to him, bro. My man did like 3 tours, bro, in like Iraq, bro. Like the man's fucked up, and he just talks like he looks like you're talking to the Terminator, bro. He's just like he looks
Yeah.
you up and down, like he's just not all there.
Yeah.
It's just different, you know.
No.
And he did like a long time, like you. He did like 10 years, but he was Marines.
Yeah. No, I listen. It's what happens, man. It's not that we want it to happen. I
No,
remember
I
when I got
understand.
back. My brother was like, "You're a whole different person." Just it took me time to kind of break out of, I guess, like that robot or like that kind of like, I don't know,
Black
like
and white. It's
like a resting asshole face, you know, like just kind of like get
RES,
the fuck away
REF.
from me. Why are you talking to me? So like I had that kind of attitude. I remember we got in an altercation, me and my brother. We were at a gas station, and two dudes just walked in front of me, like in front of the line. And I tell my brother, like, what the fuck are they, like, loud, like, what the fuck are these guys doing? We've been standing here. And the dude turned around, and he was really polite. He was like, oh, we were here before. And I'm like, was I fucking talking to you? And like, that would never, that was never me, you know? Like, I mean, true story. So I don't think I tell you, I was always like fucking around and kidding around. And they're like, it's just different, man. Cause like,
I mean, you're trained to fucking survive, bro.
it's the train. But at that time, I was coming back from Afghanistan.
Yeah,
So
you
like
guys.
it's also that muscle memory of like just being alert and like it like I used it for so long over there to survive that it's hard to like get out. And I've
Yeah.
gotten better throughout the years, but like yeah, I could see that, man. And being deployed 3 times, man, I was deployed once. So yeah, it's rough. It's rough to like kind of, it's a different culture,
Yeah,
it's a different mindset.
he's had a rough life at that time. Now
Yeah.
he's doing a little better. He's gotten a little bit more like socially like
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. It takes time. It's almost like I'll probably get canceled for it, but I don't give a fuck. Sort of like kind of like the military makes you autistic for the army. You know, like you lose social kind of like cues. You know, like it is what it is. You're kind of that mentality, especially depending on your job too. Because there's a lot of people like 42 alphas. I don't give a shit if you get mad. Supply people. They have a normal ass life. You know, like they have a normal ass life. I remember when I was getting ready to like leave Afghanistan, and I'm all like fucking tattered up, coming from. I was in Nuristan, so I was in the northeast region of Afghanistan in our theater, and it was the border between Pakistan and Afghanistan. So like a lot of fighting would happen there. So yeah, I didn't shower for like the first 2 months there because the mortar team that the Taliban had, for some reason, zeroed in on. We had a Connex box. It's like a tin box where we used to shower in. That shit got blown up. So we had to use baby wipes and stuff. But whatever. That doesn't matter. I remember getting back to Bagram. I was ready to go home. And some 42 Alpha was like, oh man, you're lucky you're going home. Meanwhile, the motherfucker has Starbucks, Pizza Hut, Subway. He gets to shower. He has TV. I'm like, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, at that time, I didn't give a fuck. Shut the fuck. I'm getting out anyways. Like, or I was transitioning from active to reserve. I'm like, fuck off. I don't give a fuck. Shut the fuck up. So you know, like, it depends on the job and it depends what you've been exposed to. But like, yeah, bro, it's tough. It's tough to break the cycle. But it happens with help. With help, with proper help. The VA can suck my sack. They do not know how to help. But with help and with people around them.
Yo, we got fucking Louisville sluggers out here tonight.
Well, maybe you should talk podcast. It's been a good run.
I can feel it.
Nah. Nah, but listen, man, I think that, Enrique, like your story is very interesting. And I know we're kind of, we're telling the story in different bits and pieces. And I kind of want to dial it back a little bit because, when you were at this convenience store and the guy was being polite, what was the follow up after that? Did he just kind of like, did you?
Nothing happened. The guy was, I kind of like shocked. And my brother, I think, stepped in. I don't remember it too much. So I think my brother was surprised, shocked. And he told me afterwards, like, you changed. Like, don't know, but like, I'm here for you, man. And yeah, because he would tell me, that incident. And then whenever he would try to like get me to go out with him, I would be scanning rooftops. I would be like, it's just, it was a different person. So he handled it, and he handled that situation. I guess he smoothed things over. I don't really remember what happened, but yeah, it was not. I recognize it now, looking into it from where I am now, like how far I've come, and that whole scenario. That was crazy. I should have never done that.
Yeah, no, I mean, but I mean, you were trying to assimilate back into normal society, so you kind of had some things that you learned in the army, and so, you know, the story about Afghanistan, I think, to me is very interesting because that's something that, let's keep it real, a lot of people don't experience war, right? A lot of people don't experience probably the shit that you've seen, and I don't know if you feel comfortable talking about it, one, because of, you know, any traumatic experiences, or two, if you can, because of the military. But, you know, what exactly was your role during your tour there? What were you doing?
Yeah, so at the time, my MOS was a 35 Mike, which is a human intelligence collector. So I had two duties officially, and it depended on where I was, where I went in combat. So I could either do source operations or I could do interrogation. And the majority of the time that I was there, I was doing source operations. So what that meant is I would go out with the infantry on their patrols and I would collect intelligence. I would also meet with sources outside of that. They would come to me or I would go to them, and we would like talk and I would collect intelligence.
You're like a detective in a sense.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, like an army detective.
Yeah,
for lack
for the
of a
most
better
part.
term,
Yeah,
like
I like
summarized.
that. Yeah.
You know, because you're doing interrogations, collecting data.
Yeah, I did interrogations my last month. The majority of the time that I was there, I was going out and doing source ops, which is the same thing. It's just not an interrogation. It's more of, rapport building. I mean, you rapport building interrogations, but rapport building and like kind of handling different sources and assets and recruiting people and different things like that. One of the wildest shit I've done is I've actually met with Taliban members, like the people that were fucking mortaring us, rocketing us, and like they would come. It was two of them, and they would talk to us, and we'd have to sneak them in the middle of the fucking night because the way that the place I was at was called Fob Kalagoosh, and it was in a bowl. So like we're down here, and there are three mountains surrounding us, right? So the way that the security was layered is we handled our inside, and then the Afghan National Army handled the other layer outside. They would put security there. Well, the thing is that we had to sneak those people in because there's possible Taliban members that are also in the Afghan army, and if they see those motherfuckers, they're dead. So we would have to sneak them in and check the vehicle. I remember I was fucking scared as shit. My translator would say, "You have to go check the vehicle to see if it has any explosives or whatever." And I'm like,
Damn,
the fuck? That's not my job, bro. Like,
I didn't sign up for that.
Yeah, like no, like whatever, bro. Like
that wasn't in the job
description. I was in a truck, ID, whatever. But like that's fucking scary because like they could set it off if they want to make a point, they whatever. I'm like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, we've been working with them for years, even before, because we rotate. We're there for a year, and then another team takes over. So I'm like, all right, bro. If I get blown up, it's on you. But we went in, we checked the car and whatever. We had them come in. But I think I have other stories, obviously, but like just the fact that these people were probably in the group of people that were like rocketing and shooting at us. I'm here shaking hands with them and sipping tea and talking about what the next thing is and all that. That's kind of like crazy to me.
So okay, you were sneaking them in to try to get intel, and in return, what were they getting?
So we would give them, I think that's classified, but they would be compensated somehow. It wasn't that this was their job.
We're about to be fucking canceled and searched, Jay.
Fuck it, let's go hard or go home.
It's okay. Don't have us killed.
Okay, so all right, so we can't talk about that because it's classified.
Listen, we would give them like food or like different things. Like I'm not getting to get everything, but there was a reason they would talk to us. All right, and we had different sources. Actually, that dickhead Eric Snowden, when he leaked the documents, I had personal sources that were there, so they had to dip out of Afghanistan. They had to like relocate their whole family and shit like that. Actually, one of the better sources that I had that was in integrated into the national army in Afghanistan had to dip because of that. But yeah, I would meet with people, and I actually sometimes I think being in Afghanistan was simpler. When I would have that thought when I was healthy, because it's like who's trying to kill you. You're with people. You're with a few 70, 100 people that are trying to get back home. You have one goal in mind: get back home. My goal there wasn't like, oh, we're here for the glory of the army. It was like, I'm gonna make sure that David and Brian get home, and I get home to the best of our ability, and everybody else that I met there. That was it. We were all. I don't think we ever fought with each other. We got into arguments, but like
You all saw eye to eye.
Yeah, man. We had a different mindset. It was there. Everybody had each other's back. And then I come back home and everybody's arguing over stupid bullshit, and like that made me angrier. So it was hard to like getting back to the assimilation. Getting back to civilian culture. It was hard for me because I'm like, yo, people are two-faced, and I'm gonna call this shit out, and then people would hate me for it, and it's like, whole thing. So it was kind of simpler over there at times. It was kind of simpler over there.
Damn,
it was nuts. There were times that it was nuts, but it was kind of simpler at times.
No, I could
I
definitely.
got jaded real quick, but it was, I don't know. All right, my bad. I keep interrupting.
No, not at all, man. This is not about me. It's about you, and it's just more because you're talking about a lot of interesting things, and the way that my brain works is trying to like ask all these questions, and I'm trying to think about which one I want to ask because there's a lot of information to digest, and you're doing a really good job of painting a picture that's vivid. So what I wanted to ask was more specifically about the Taliban people that you were kind of sneaking in, and how did you guys avoid the friendly fire? Like, were these guys still shooting at you and shit? Like, what was the agreement?
They would tell us all unplanned things that were about to happen, whatever they knew, anyways. Right, and that was it. They knew the risks of being in that. So if we somehow mortar the team that they're in, or we get into maybe we get into contact with whatever group when we're outside and they happen to be there, then that's on them. But
I have a question.
Yeah.
Now, were they Taliban members that saw from like the other point of view, and that's why they were willing to work with you guys? Or was it just because of what you were giving them? Or was it like
no, that's an awesome question, bro, because like, why would they do that, right?
Yeah, I'm just curious because I love all this shit.
I'm assuming it was for like the compensation. That's what I'm assuming.
More than like what they believed in, or maybe what was going on, they didn't support it 100%.
There was a possibility, but I didn't get into that motivation because the rapport was already built at that point.
Yeah,
with our predecessors, so they kept coming in and they kept doing that. And my job wasn't to find out their motivation at that point. My job was to just keep the relationship going,
keep feeding them,
and seeing what they needed. And they would tell us what they would need, and I would tell them no, or yeah, we could look into that, right?
What's like the craziest shit they asked for? Like, I'm just curious. Like
the majority of them ask for a shitload of money. They think we're just gonna pay them a fucking bunch of money. And we tell them right
50,000 in a bag.
Yeah. No, I'm like, bro, unless you're finding me Osama bin Laden right now, because at the time he was still alive, that's just not gonna happen. So like, we would ground them real quick and tell them what the expectations were and what we were offering. And if they didn't like it, they could fucking roll out the door. That's fine. Or
with
they
the lights on.
Yeah. Like, not that we're gonna shoot them as soon as they leave. It's just like these are this
mission
this
complete.
is what's expected. Yeah, bro. And then like I remember rolling into I forget what village. We were going into different villages and like sometimes different provinces and stuff like that. So the only villages I remember, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing them right, is Wadu, Titin, and Shemgo, because those are the names that we gave to the mountains, because that's where the villages were. So we went to other like villages. I think there was one called Logan, whatever. It doesn't matter. I remember going to this one village and like there was a shitload of people, and there was a ton of kids, a ton of fucking kids. And I was going around with Brian, who was my team lead, and we were with like the infantry unit, and we were talking to like the police in that area and certain military members and like certain like leaders, like the village leaders, and just different people were asking questions about. I think there was like an election coming up, and we were looking into like how many people we needed for security and all that shit. And the kids, bro, there were like hundreds of kids. I remember they would just try to come up and fucking take pens from me and shit, and from us, because we have pens here in our sleeve, and like try to like go into our pocket, bro. And like I'm like fucking swiping kids away and butt stocking them, not butt stocking, but kind of like when they're reaching for my weapon, kind of like doing that. And I remember this like probably like a 20-year-old guy coming with this fucking stick and just beating the fuck out of them, trying to get them away from us, because like bro, I felt like I was gonna be drowned in a pool of Afghan kids. It was crazy.
Stampede.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
well, because I mean, like that's also an interesting thing, right? Because that's not a conventional war where like the opposing army is wearing uniform that you could point them out, and these kids could have very well tried to fucking kill you.
Yeah. I didn't harm them and everything, but like I tried to not let them get close to me, but it's just like, I'm not exaggerating. It was like 70 or 100 kids. There's so many fucking kids. And it would happen again because we would go on Goodwill missions too, where we would give out like notebooks and pens and like toys and stuff. We did that too, and it got bad during that time too. But I remember that. I remember. I'll tell that story maybe. Let me see. I remember this. Okay, I'll just tell it now because I'm just spasming here. Like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I remember being in an MRAP and
wait, what's an MRAP?
An MRAP is like, you guys know what a Humvee is?
Yeah.
Okay, so an MRAP is even a more armored version of that. The MRAP was specifically designed, like the bottom chassis or like the body of the vehicle was designed to take IED blasts. Because people were dying left and right in Humvee.
Is that the one that has the 50 cal on top?
Yeah. So the one that I was in at this time, like when because I'm telling the story, had a crow system.
What's that?
The crow system, instead of having the gunner exposed, the gunner sat next to you, and it was automatic. It was an automatic turret. Yeah. And the cool thing is that like you could see from fucking far away. The night vision on the crow system, bro, we lit motherfuckers up just from their cigarette smoke. Because it's like
from the thermal?
Yeah, bro. It was like green and bro, like they had thermal and then we had night vision. But I just remember we were out somewhere and like in a pasture, there was just like goats or like sheep, some kind of herd, and like a silhouette of a dude kind of like standing right behind the goat or sheep and kind of like thrusting.
Stop.
Wait, hold up.
And we did that too. We're like, what?
Okay, hold on. Okay,
wait. I thought we was about to get into some like hardcore fucking gun battle.
Oh, this is hardcore, right? Just not the hardcore you were expecting.
Yo, they were fucking hardcoring the goat.
Bro, we used to intercept.
Different, yo.
We had this thing. Is different. I don't want to say the name of it, but we had this team that would intercept their radio communications. And like, I don't know if have y'all ever heard of Man Love Thursday?
Man Love Thursday?
Yeah. That's a thing in the military as a joke.
So, all right, what's Man Love Thursday?
Man Love Thursday is when uncle or an older male of I don't know what age, just a man would.
But they have to be older.
Well, yeah, because they're the ones that would be performing fucking little boys. Okay, they would be like, oh, like they would have coded language and like, oh, I want to see my nephew this day or like whatever, and like, no, bro, like it's a thing. Some of them fuck boys for pleasure and then women for procreation. So like, people come at me, but people in the military know that that's a thing. I don't want to hear it.
Okay, hold on. So let's clarify some things.
Yeah.
By they, are you referring to people in the Taliban?
Well, just in Afghanistan. I don't know if they were in the Taliban.
Okay.
Oh, the Afghanis.
Okay, so
I'm sure it happens other places, but my experience and other people's experience that I was there with.
Oh yeah, he did say the radio intercept.
Yeah.
So they were listening to it on the radio.
Yeah,
Okay.
just talking about I want to meet so and so this day, bring so and so this day. So, and those people were Taliban because that's why we were intercepting them. But it doesn't it's not exclusive to the Taliban. It's not exclusive. So there were two groups when I was there, Taliban and Mujahideen. But it's not exclusive to them, right?
That's like probably a thing in their culture.
Maybe not. Who knows? All I know is that we heard something. So, and we've heard stories from other people. So
okay. So you obviously intercepted a lot of interesting things.
Oh, there was a lot, bro. There was we were getting hit one night, right? It was like probably like 3 a.m. or something. They would attack us early in the morning because obviously they want to disturb sleep. So we were getting hit, and they usually start with indirect fire, so rockets, mortars, stuff like that, and then you would hear the small arm fire, and then there's a section where there's like just like barbed wire and stuff. Because what is protecting us is we have these things called HESCO barriers. So what a HESCO barrier is, it's like a brown paper bag, but a really fucking big one, and they fill it with like rocks, and then what's holding the paper bag in place is like welded, like a cage, kind of like a fence cage, around it, and then that's what builds the perimeter of like the bases and stuff. But then there's certain sections that had like barbed wire and stuff, and people were, while we were like dealing with that, because we all went to fighting positions. If we were military, we went to fighting positions. The bigger bases, some people that are in the military never even have to shoot their weapon. They go into the bunkers, right? So where we were at, it was small, and everybody that was military would go to a fighting position, and then like civilian contractors, they would go into the bunker, unless they're contracted to deal with weapons. I had two in our fighting position. We had 2 Navy people, 3 Army people, and then we had one of the contractors with us. So we were dealing with whatever.
And the contractors are from Afghanistan?
No, they were American.
They're like mercenaries?
Man.
That's the
Is
thing.
that like
they were there? So the people that I'm talking about specifically, they were there to intercept, but they would also handle weapons. And I forget if they would go out on missions or not. I don't remember that.
That sounded like a yes, as in like yes, but I can't give more details.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't even want to name what the thing is, just in case.
No, listen, we're not.
But so we were getting into it, and whatever, and on the communication on the walkies or whatever, they're like, they're trying to use bed matches to go over the barbed wire, and they're like, we had a translator, so like they were telling us, like one dude was like, let's do it for the glory of God, just go over, and the other was like, fuck no, we're getting shot at right now. So they were like, yeah, some of them were pissing their pants, and the other was like, just go. And there was this dude, Raul, who I befriended. He was part of the infantry unit that we were there with. He said that one of them was trying to get into, like, through the wire, and their staff sergeant is like, oh, turn the M19 this way. The M19 is like a automatic machine, like a 50 cal, but for grenade rounds. So like he told me, he's like, yeah, that motherfucker was there 1 second, and then only his arm was there the next. Fuck that dude.
Yo.
And
what's not to cut you off, but what's interesting, that like, because you were exposed to that environment,
yeah,
you talk about it and describe it as if like someone was just out there like pouring water and drinking a cup.
I know. Yeah.
Like he's telling a story out of a movie.
Bro.
Fucking guy got blown up.
You know how everybody says, you know how everybody says, oh, it's like a movie. Oh, it's like, when I was flying in, so depending on what, like, we call it RCs, so regional commands, depending on what the area that you were going to be working and, serving was, you would fly into either Bagram or you would fly into Kandahar. So because we were going to the east, we were part of RC East, we flew into Bagram. So I was in Bagram for a week, and then they told us where we were going. They briefed us before, but like then we got our official orders. I went from Bagram to Jalalabad. and it was like we went in like I don't know if it was a C-130, but it was a plane, and it opened up from the back, and the American flag was hanging there. And I'm like, I've seen
Oh,
this
the
in the
big one?
fucking yeah. I'm like, I've seen this
Yeah.
in the fucking movie, and it was only like 4 of us. So whatever, we went to Jalalabad, and then from Jalalabad, we took a helicopter from there to where I was at, Fab Kalagoosh. I just remember getting in the bird, and I'm like, oh shit! Like you could see as you're going that the scene, like the scenery is changing. It goes from green and the vegetation to like rocks and gray and brown, and then as we're getting close, at the time I didn't know we were getting close. As we were getting close to where we're landing, we started doing like maneuvers, like you could feel it kind of. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, we have headsets because helicopters. Have you guys ever been in a helicopter?
I have once.
I
It's
haven't.
fucking loud as shit. You
Yeah,
can't
you
hear
have
shit.
like these shits on.
Yep, you can't hear shit if you take them off. So whatever. We finally land because we're up there. I don't know what the fuck's going on. And we land, and the pilot is like screaming, but I can't hear him. But I could see he's fucking angry, but not like at me. Basically, what he was telling me is like, "Get your fucking bags, get the fuck out." So I'm like, "Why the fuck is this guy screaming at me? I just got here, or whatever." As soon as they step off, bro, mortars are going off. We're fucking going down to the ground. We're like, boom, boom. I'm like, what the fuck? I felt like a fucking movie. It felt like I was as cliche as it sounds, like I was in a fucking mission on Call of Duty or some bullshit like that. As soon as they get off, bro, I couldn't have written that shit. Shit was going off. And like Brian, who's our team lead, also was like, fuck, what the fuck? And then like once things got calmed down, the team we were replacing, I remember the team lead of the team that we were replacing, his name was Jeter. He's like, welcome to your next year. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, fuck. It felt like a fucking movie, bro. It felt like a movie. And then different things that I've experienced there, I have not seen in movies. But like the goat, or the sheep, whatever the fuck that was. But no, yeah, some of it is.
Oh, that shit caught me so off guard.
Imagine being there, like just a group of dudes are like, what?
But I'm sure that's stuff that happens though in other cultures, right? Like it's not just prevalent to that one specific country. I mean, granted, you heard it firsthand because you were there.
Oh, I'm sure other people fuck animals, yeah, but like it's still weird. It's still weird as shit, bro.
The interesting thing to me too, and we spoke about a little bit is the culture, and I would read articles about how you have to say hi to them with, is it the left hand? Because
No,
apparently
the
the right. Okay.
Yeah.
And so like what's the reason behind that? Is
They
it like
wipe their ass with the
disrespectful to
left.
them? Okay.
It's a dirty hand. That's
Okay.
pretty much the way we were briefed, yeah. The
It's
left
like
hand is
shaking with
dirty.
your right. You're not gonna shake with your left.
Yeah.
It's kind of
So
universal.
you say hi with the left.
No, the right.
With the right. I'm sorry. You say hi with the
Yo,
right.
are you-
And then the left is yo,
You don't
Jay,
do
what's,
anything with the left. You
what's
just-
19 plus 2004? But nah, so okay. So and is that
19.
something that they tell you as soon as you get in? Like, hey, this is what you have.
we spend because at the time we were involved in 2 wars, right? But they both happened to be, I don't know necessarily the same culture, but the same, for the most part, the same religion and the same customs and kind of like that. So no, like from day one, bro, you get briefed on culture training. That's part of boot camp. You never show the bottom of your feet. You shake with your right. Like
You never what? What was the first one?
the bottom of your feet. You don't show the bottom of your feet. It's considered disrespectful because you step. So remember when George Bush was president and he was
Wait,
like
like
talking?
when you're like barefooted?
No, anytime. That's why remember. Okay, so as George
I don't get it.
Bush's presidency was ending, he was somewhere. I forget where. He was outside of the country, and some like Muslim reporter threw shoes at him.
I remember that.
Yeah, because it's extremely disrespectful. It's like one of the most. It's like saying "fuck you, man," but like it's like because
But what?
you're
Like
telling
if you
that
put
person
if you put your
beneath them.
foot up,
Yeah.
if you
Like
put
if
your
you show
foot
the
up and,
bottom,
like-
the bottom of your feet, the bottom of your feet is
Oh.
considered extremely disrespectful. So
that's
chill like
different.
that. Yeah, it's different culture.
So you can't cross your feet as you're sitting down. You have to, both feet have to be
No,
planted
you
down.
could do that as long as you're not like like putting them up and like
Oh,
showing
okay.
them, like showing the bottom of your feet. I'm sure people
Okay.
that cross their. I don't remember specifically remembering their body language when they came to their feet, but I'm sure people that cross their feet and stuff. But it's just like pointing your feet, like the bottom of your feet at people. that's considered disrespectful.
Damn. So you experience all this stuff, man, during this tour, and then you have to go back home, right? So you finally get, honorably discharged, or your tour's over. You get to
Yeah,
go
so
home.
I go home to North Carolina. I go to Fort Bragg, which they renamed, but I'm gonna call it Fort Bragg. I don't give a shit. So I went to Fort Bragg, and then I decided, let me transition to the reserve side, right? Try to get back into civilian life. Didn't work out too well. I met a lot of awesome people in the reserve. It was a different culture, bro. It was so fucked up. It was so I get there and I'm like, holy shit. But I met a lot of fucking cool people there because there was a lot of people that also transitioned out of the active army. And I just ended up being activated again because I was like, okay, I've seen the civilian world, not for me. Got my bachelor's, did my reserve thing, but then I started to get activated. So I would take orders to work while I was, in the military. So when you're in the reserves or in the National Guard, you could try to get orders to be like a full-time an activated soldier. So I did that. I got activated. I would translate documents since I was in Florida. I would translate documents from Spanish to English. We would read on like different countries, obviously, collect intelligence there, and then I would get activated just as much as I could to make money off of that. And then I got hit up to be a drill sergeant. My last 2 years in the military, I was a drill sergeant, so I got to do that.
Damn, I feel like there's so much about your military life that I want to cover, and I feel like if we we would be here for like 4 hours, man.
Hey,
that like
no, and I'm glad to move past it. But do you remember Louis? I forget his last name. He's Dominican. He's like
Rosario.
He was in the military.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was his drill sergeant.
Shut up. That's my boy. I know that kid since we're like first grade.
If it's the last name sounds familiar, I knew Louis.
Dominican, dark skin.
Yep, dark skin,
short
hair.
Yeah,
yep.
yeah, little buff.
Yep, he was in my first platoon. He was in the first platoon I ever got. I was a drill sergeant. And we looked at each other because I knew him too. Like we would hang out sometimes, and I looked at him, he looked at me, and I'm like, "This is a movie, bro." Like he could have gone anywhere, and I could have gone anywhere to be a drill. We had at the time four different bases where you could go to boot camp. And even if you go to the base that I'm in, there's a ton of different companies you could go to. So it's just crazy that I got assigned. Yeah, I got assigned to. At the end of it, once we were done, once they were ready to graduate, I walked up to like all of them, the platoon, and I'm like, "How many motherfuckers knew that I went to high school with, so and so?" I forget his last name. And there was like a big joke. Everybody obviously was talking about it when I wasn't there, but he understood. We couldn't be friends at that time. It was professional. We had to. I was a drill sergeant. He was a private coming in. So, but yeah, that was fucking bonkers to me.
It's crazy how like such a small world it really is when you really like put things into context,
bonkers.
Right?
Yeah.
And like I'm and Jay, I think, is also fascinated by your military career, man. That like I would love to, bring you back in the future, man, if you would be open to it and really kind of dissect that further, because I think the drill sergeant thing is fucking dope. But I kind of wanted
remember that movie. Anytime I think of a drill sergeant, I just think of that military movie.
Full Metal Jacket.
Oh my god, yeah, bro! Like they fucking drove that kid crazy. That's all. Yo, you said drill sergeant, and like I'm watching Full Metal Jacket in my head.
Yeah, I think that's like the first thing most people think. I know for me, that's the first thing I think about when they mention the word drill sergeant.
We think of too going through.
Yeah, because it was so iconic, that specific role. But
just my bad.
No, you're good, man. You're good. So transitioning into the Funko stuff, right? Because that's where you developed your alias Sergeant Funko. So did you start getting into collecting Funkos once you were fully done with the Army?
Yeah, so it was when I was in the process of getting out from everything. Right, it was in the process. I was still in, but it was in the process. As I was stepping out, I was living in Tampa at the time. I was living with my ex, and I don't know. It happened I was living in Tampa, but it happened in a mall in Miami. It's called Dolphin Mall. And we're walking by Books A Million and I see these figures, and I see Batman. Batman's my favorite superhero. I see Batman. I see a Batman from Arkham Knight, and then I see a Harley Quinn, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get these. I got them, and then a few days later, oh, this is Zoidberg from Futurama. I'm gonna get him too. And then this is so and so. This is so and so. And in like 2 weeks, I had 30. And then, I'm like, bro, all right, these things are popping up everywhere. I see them at GameStop. I see them at Hot Topic. I see them everywhere. Let me go on YouTube and see if anybody's like doing anything about it. And I run across this channel called P2 Vision. And it's a dude recording himself collecting Funko Pops. And I start watching him. He's funny. Puerto Rican. He's funny. And you want to see how much of a small world this is? We were talking about me running into Lewis and being a drill sergeant, one of the drill sergeants. I applied to grad school at FIU because I'm like, bro, let me go get my master's and at least work in the higher ed department. And I want to help veterans specifically because I remember my time as a veteran navigating, dealing with the yellow ribbon and 9/11 bill and all that stuff. Going through undergrad, it was a headache. So I could make it easy for some veterans. Let me get into this. So I got accepted to the program. I moved to Pembroke Pines. And I decided to drive to a Chipotle. And there, I see an individual I recognize. Now, in the videos that I was just mentioning, a P2 always had a guy with them, for the most part, named Joseph. And I see this dude. And I see he has the same tattoos as the guy in the video. And I'm like, yo, are you Joseph? And he's like, yeah. How do you know me? And I'm like, oh, I watched P2. So I met this dude. Right? I met this dude, which was crazy because I saw him in so many videos. And from there, he knew I was a fan of this guy. So he's like, oh, I'm going to call P2. We can go hunt with him. We can go look for toys. And I ended up meeting P2 that way. I became really close to Joseph. Really, really close. My channel started because I'm like, man, I could do this too. At the time, the first video I ever made, I didn't have an alias. I didn't have anything. I just used my name. But I was talking to Joseph, and I'm like, bro, like we should do something on YouTube. And
so wait, hold on. Your YouTube name was just Enrique?
Yeah. I didn't have any alias. I just started.
No sales.
I just started.
No
I'm like,
views.
here's my face.
Nobody gonna listen to Enrique.
Yeah. Bro, I know. I'm like, there's so many people doing shit. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna do it. But I had the same thought. I'm like, who the fuck wants to say Enrique? Like, who the fuck is this asshole? So like, I talked to him, and I remember I was in this room, and he has an awesome, like, if you go to his house, he built his own collection room. It's fucking huge. And if you go through some of my videos, you might see it in there. It's fucking huge. I remember being in his collection room, his old collection room, and being like, bro, we should do this. And I'm going to change my name. I'm going to call myself Sergeant Funko because I was in the Army and I collect Funko Pops. So we made the video, and it kind of started with him, but he couldn't commit to the videos. As you guys know, if you want to build a following, at first you have to fucking pump out content, and you have to keep pumping it up, and you have to keep it out. If you want like to grow, right? So like he couldn't. It's fine. He had a wife, whatever. He had a job. I had a job too, but like it doesn't matter. I decided to just do it by myself, and that's kind of just how it started, man. And when I first started, I didn't know anything about editing. I didn't know anything about nothing. So I didn't edit any of my videos. I didn't edit any of my videos until I was in Tampa. And I remember I went to one comic book shop, recorded in there. And then because I didn't know how to edit, I recorded myself walking across the street and going into a Walgreens. And at that point, I didn't have a car. So I got an Uber back to my apartment. And on the way back, the dude driving the Uber is like, oh, hey, what were you doing today? And I'm like, oh, I have a YouTube channel. So I was just recording and, doing my thing for toys. And the dude's like, oh, what do you use to edit? I'm like, I don't edit. He's like, bro, that's going to fuck up your shit. Like, that sucks. Like, you have to edit. And he's like, you can get free apps on your phone. So as I kept, progressing and learning and doing my thing and making mistakes, I got to learn how to edit. I learned the editing system. I edited all my videos on my phone. Everything was on my phone. I didn't use a computer. I didn't use anything.
It's
Damn.
crazy.
Yeah, it was just my phone. All the graphics, the thumbnails, everything on my phone. And I just slowly started to build a following. And I was shocked. You know, I didn't hit any fucking crazy numbers or anything, but like, I was shocked. One of my videos got to 65,000. You know, like it's fucking
That's
crazy.
a fucking milestone. What the fuck?
Yeah, for me, yeah, it's a bro.
Shout out Hudson County.
I would make I would. Whenever I visited, there were videos of me walking through the Bergen line, going to Nova Linea, going
Oh,
through
yeah.
like like different places there. But for sure, no, even my normal retention when I was active was like 7,000, 8,000, 10,000, and I was shocked. You know, when you look at it, like, yeah, it's nothing big. I'm not making that much money off of YouTube. At the time, I was making like $100 maybe every
Something.
Like, it's
more
something,
than
but
us.
that's not the point. The point is that which Jonathan, you were saying before we started the podcast. The point is that for some reason I've captivated people enough, you know, where I had a retention of like 10,000 people tuning in every day, every week, when you know, whatever my schedule was to put out a video at the time. That's like a stadium full of people, you know, like a mini area where you go like watch shows and shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy that they're watching me. And I had people from different countries all over the world watching me. And I was like, this is nuts. And then I would get care packages from Australia or from
Stop.
So people were sending you Funkos?
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
fire.
Yeah, dude. No, like I had
What's
a
the
small
coolest
following.
Funko they've ever sent you?
Bro, one person sent me a Bart Simpson Funko Pop. Okay.
What does
Funko
that mean
Pop
to
right
you?
now is worth like $600 or $400,
Stop.
something like that.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said before we got on, I didn't even know what these things were called. Now, is $600 a high like price point for one of those? Like, what's the
yeah.
average?
Yeah. I mean, when you buy them
like an exclusive collector.
okay.
How much is what
Like,
would it be?
If you go to if you go into a store, certain stores have exclusive Funko Pops. They make a deal with Funko, obviously, and they'll have that pop only at their store. When you buy them at retail, I don't know I think the price now has gone up. I think it's like either 12 or $15. But at the time that I was collecting, pops are like $8 or $10, right?
Okay.
But the thing is that eventually the Funko Pops that Funko puts out will get vaulted. So
Which means
they won't make them anymore. They're retired.
That's what makes them exclusive.
What's the word?
Vaulted.
Volted?
Yeah,
like a vault,
behind
right?
a vault.
Like, yeah.
Like equivalent to sneakers, dead stock, right?
Yeah. They're
Okay.
they're not making no more. This is it.
But I don't know if that's the same though.
Educate me on sneaker culture because I don't know what.
So doesn't dead stock mean that you never wore them?
No, I think it means that like they're not going to make any more. Yeah,
I don't
we
know.
could revisit this later, but
I don't know, kid. I got a lot of sneakers in my closet.
We'll revisit this one later. But okay, so
I disagree.
All right, so we'll revisit that later. It might be dead stock, it might not, but the point is the Funkos get vaulted.
Yeah, they were vaulted. No more production. No more production. So at the time when that person sent me the Funko, the Bart Simpson, it wasn't $400, but it was like $250.
Well, it had just kind of dropped, right? In a sense, like come out.
At that time, it was newer, so it was.
Got you.
You know, it was. I think that was like 2018 or something. And now with time, it's only going to go higher. There's an app dedicated to them, like I'm sure sneakers have or like comic books have. There's an app dedicated where you can track how much, you know, your Funko Pops are right now. So yeah, no, like that. I've gotten some crazy gifts, and then like because I had a social media account and I had enough people, I was getting enough views, right? I got invited to go to New York Comic Con. They gave me a badge. I got in before like the regular people got in. I like there's a video of me like shooting it. It was one of the last videos that I did. It was in 2019, so I got to go there. And then I was gonna go to Emerald City Comic Con too. They gave me a full pass, everything, and I had the badge ready to go. And then COVID happened. But yeah, no, it's crazy, man. It's crazy what someone could do with a camera and an audience. And if you say the right things or build like that bond, have that like psychology that people are looking for. Because I that's how I started. I watched P2. I felt connected to the dude. He was funny. He was collecting the things that I wanted. The thrill of him. Will he get it? Will he not get it? Whatever. And then I'm like, I think I could communicate that in my own way. And I got enough people to where like I built a following, and people would recognize me whenever I would go to like conventions and stuff, and I was a special guest at like a convention, and like it's wild. It was wild, and I loved every moment of that and meeting people, but just like the editing, bro. The editing got to me, and then the negativity got to me at the end when I was trying to do certain things in the video and it wasn't well received, and that kind of led me, to get more jaded and more jaded. And I had a full-time job too, so I was dealing with all that.
So you said that the negativity with some of the newer videos that you were trying to put out, what was it about it, and the feedback that you were getting? Was it in the comments?
Yeah, in the comments. Some people are nasty. Like there was always negativity. You're always gonna get it, right? When you start building an audience, there are gonna come people that are gonna have certain opinions or whatever. And I was dealing with negativity all the time. That didn't bother me. But it's the fact that I was trying to do something different. I don't know if you guys watch wrestling. Do you guys watch wrestling?
I did when I was growing up.
Okay.
I still catch it from time to time.
Yeah. So I got back into it, and there was a character that I really, really registered with, just because I liked the ability of this guy's storytelling, and I wanted to do my own spin on that into my video. So the guy I'm referring to is the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, right? He just passed away.
R.I.P.
Yeah, and like I did a version of that into my toys, where like it's silly, but I tried something new, something that would be new. I involved my wife into it, which my wife was never seen on my channel. My wife is known as the Ghost, because you could always hear her and you could see like her arm and shit, but she would never want to be in camera. So I just called it the Harvard Ghost, and it was like a running thing in my channel, my community, and stuff like that. So I had a thing with her where like she would possess like whatever. It doesn't matter. But people didn't. I don't know. They didn't like it. I don't know if it was too outside the box or whatever, but they didn't like it. And at that time, I was jaded already. So I guess that was just like the straw. That and COVID were the straw that like led me to just stop.
So what kind of comments were they saying? Was it just like, this is like corny, like go back to your regular stuff?
Corny, what the fuck is this? The fuck off, what different shit. There was some nasty shit, bro. Like people, I remember I would get into. There was a community of other collectors, obviously in Miami. There was this group of people called Fig Life, and they were just obnoxious. They were really obnoxious and crude and stuff. But I didn't have beef with them, and I didn't want to like collaborate with them. I was going to collaborate with them, but then I saw their videos, and I'm like, I'm not going to collaborate. But then for some reason, my friend Joseph decided to start a beef with them on YouTube. He posted a video
like Funko beef?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, right. It's toys, bro. But like, yeah, he decided to like post a video. He's like, "Fuck Fig Life," and they're pieces of shit. They go around like crushing boxes and shit like that. And then they hit me up and like, "What the fuck happened?" And at the time I was in New York. I was doing an internship, and I woke up to that. I'm like, "Oh my god." So then those guys are hitting me up. They're like, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "I don't know what the fuck he's doing. I'll talk to them, whatever." And I told him, like, "What the fuck did you do, bro?" And he's like, "I don't give a fuck. Fuck them." I'm like, "You're starting beef. I have your back, but you're starting beef for no reason now." And whatever. That led to, so they would have like people. I heard one person told me, I forget the guy's name back then or whatever. He like started hanging out with those Fig Life people, so he started like hating on me for no fucking reason. He didn't even know me. But then once he like fell out with them, he was telling me like, "Oh yeah, they one of the dudes at his work, he got people to like just thumbs down your video, everybody that works there." Because I would randomly get like hundreds of thumbs down for some reason, right? That happened like later on, like due to like early, like during the time that I was like thinking of stopping whatever. And I'm like, okay, like this is retarded, like this is stupid. Why like like am I gonna punch this guy in the face? Because I know he works. Or like this is over toys. Like what the fuck? I did this to have a good time, to meet people. Like I don't want to be stressed out about things. I already have to deal with shit at work. Like you think I want to deal with this shit? And then like whatever. Like that beef never went anywhere. But they would fucking like edit images of like fucking dicks and shit and like nasty shit, bro.
Yo, what?
Yeah. These people are fucking foul. They're fucking foul. They never had a big following either. They were always trying to leech onto people. So when I didn't give them the rub, they went somewhere else and they tried to get the rub. Their channel sucked ass, right?
Are they still active?
I don't fucking know. I don't follow. I don't give a shit. Joseph would probably tell me. He's like the security. He's like, he always handled like everything when it came to like looking up videos, and like for some reason subscribers would always message him. They didn't want to like message me. I don't know if they didn't want to interrupt me or whatever. They would message me, but like, they would message him too. And they're like, bro, why are these people messaging me? They can message you directly. And I'm like, yeah, they can. I don't know why. I'm not telling them to. And then it became a joke where like, he's my secretary, you know, so because they're always like messaging him and shit. But yeah, no, that shit was stupid. Grown ass fucking men. And they were older than me, bro. They were like 40 something. These grown ass men. One of them fucking lived with their parents as a 40-year-old. I used to like, we clown them on that. But like then it's like, you know what? I'm gonna get back to like this stupid fucking beef shit. I'm gonna get back to the toys. But then like what did it for me is like people not being grateful for, it was just for like, it wasn't gonna be, you know, the new way what I was doing, that like that was only gonna be for like 3 or 4 videos. So people reacted to it so negatively, and I'm like, they don't appreciate the time I'm taking in it. Because there were times where like my girl at the time was like, oh, what are we gonna, it's Saturday, let's go out, what are we gonna do? It's Sunday, let's go. And I'm like, I can't, I gotta edit. And I would spend the whole fucking weekend editing. You know, I had we were gonna watch NXT, a pay-per-view, with some friends, and I had to edit during the whole fucking event. You know, there was a time where like she went with some friends to play like Dungeons and Dragons, and I had to go into a private room to edit, and I missed all of it. But people don't care; they just care about what they see in the entertainment, and like, this sucks or this is good, you know. So like at that point, I was jaded, and I was dealing with work, and I wanted to fucking go out, and I lived in goddamn Florida. I wanted to go to Busch Gardens, I wanted to go to Universal, I wanted to go to Disney. You know, fuck it. People don't want to take it for granted, and then COVID happened. I'm like, all right, bro, I'm not going to ECC. I'm not going to Emerald City Comic Con in Washington. So, whatever. I'm gonna just focus on me now, and that's what I did.
So it was like the same community that sort of built you up also took the time to basically kind of destroy you.
Enough of them, not all of them, because I have some people that till this day message me, hey, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? We miss your videos. I'm still watching your videos. When are you coming back? When are you coming back? So, yeah, not everybody, but
so when you kind of started the process of exiting that community, did you keep your Funko collection or did you start selling it off?
So before I get into that, I also want to say that it wasn't only in the comments. It's the views dropped in these videos too, and I didn't like that. You know, and Joseph would tell me, he's like, bro, yeah, you only got 5,000 views, but that's 5,000 views, bro. But I was used to getting like 8,000, 10,000, you know. So like,
You got discouraged.
Where the fuck did this dip happen from? Does that mean I'm not longer relevant? Like, I'm trying to do different shit. Like, I would go to the 99-cent store. I would like try to come up with different shit to do. But I kept my collection. I still have my collection, but I've sold off some pieces because money, you know, money. I moved from Miami to Tampa at the time to take a job at USF. So I had to sell a bunch. And I remember I sold part of it and got like, I think like $8,000. And then I sold another part of it and I got like 15 grand.
So, okay. So at the height of your collection,
Yeah.
what would you value it at?
My whole collection?
Yeah. At the prime of everything.
Probably 70,000.
Stop.
Yeah.
70,000?
Things go up in value.
And this is
man has a $600 Bart Simpson, bro.
No, I know, but that went up over time. There wasn't like it was worth $600 at the time.
Some of them go faster.
Damn. So
some of them
sneakers,
don't.
Bro.
Yeah, some of them go out faster and some of them don't. Depends on exactly the exclusivity, the rarity. Yeah. Even the sticker, bro. Even the sticker sometimes. It could be the same exact stuff, fucking Funko Pop. But if you have the sticker that's directly from the con and not the shared exclusive, that one's gonna be way more. It's fucking
damn.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
So I guess what he's referring to is
I mean, I know what a sticker is. I just don't know like what the reference was to.
So they'll have different stickers. So like example, when I went to New York Comic Con in 2019, I waited 3 hours in that fucking line and I still didn't get everything that I wanted. But whatever. you get the Funko Pop, and it'll have the New York Comic Con like actual branded sticker. Now you could get that same exact Funko Pop, the same one at, let's say, like Hot Topic, but it'll have one that says Fall Convention exclusive. It won't say New York Comic Con. Mm-hmm. So just that difference in sticker
makes it exclusive.
Makes the price fucking even go up more.
Makes it a 10 of 10 type of shit.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's crazy what a sticker is. But
damn. Yeah. So your $70,000 collection.
Yep.
How many figures in total was it?
Bro, I don't even know.
Did it take up like a room? Because that sounds like.
Oh yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, I think I had at least close to 1,000 probably.
How many?
1,000 probably.
And how long do you think that took you to buy? Like
years. Like, but not that, like 3-4 years. Because the thing with
Funko you buy one Pops, every day.
Yeah, because I had a bit. I had.
I'm just trying to see how you got. Because I know how my sneaker collection grows. I gotta fucking close that app because that shit kills my pocket.
But it's also, you know what it is, Jay. Though, but the prices are different, right? Like a Funko is
exactly like
it's harder with sneakers.
You know, with my income, $10, my man, I'm going crazy.
But the thing is that I had a video, I had a channel too. So
that shit was so, like, and they were feeding, they were giving you the packets too.
So I
people sending you stuff.
I would go out almost daily to record content, and it doesn't mean I was buying shit every video, but most of the videos I was getting something. I
mean, and at $10, $12 a pop, like why not?
Yeah.
Damn.
And then there's a chance that they could go up, and some of them did, bro. Some of them went up immediately to like $100.
Yeah, it was wild. That's 10x. Yeah. I'm selling right away.
Yeah, so a lot of people did.
Yo, as soon as I see a profit, sold.
Yeah, so that's why people got into fights, because a lot of people did that. They would, I've been there where like people try to cut lines and people would get into fights. I think there was like a shooting or something. Like people get nuts. People fucking get nuts. The same thing with Pokemon, because I collect Pokemon cards too.
Oh, so does JP. His collection is crazy.
I sold it.
Oh, okay.
He had a crazy collection.
Yeah, I sold it during COVID. We talked about it with Lou Janu. Shout out to Lou. But
damn, bro, I get it. You have to sell off shit. Yeah.
He thought he had the $1 million Pokemon card.
Yeah, and then I got told I didn't. But I knew it at that point in time though, because when you started putting things on eBay, like you realize what the market is.
Yeah.
Come back to reality.
Yeah,
$5,
I mean,
$15.
Nah, but I never I knew I didn't have like a fucking $1 million Charizard card. Like
he wore it around his neck till the guy told him it wasn't worth anything.
Nah, it wasn't that type of card. But like, yeah, like you capitalize on when the moment is hot, you know. Yeah. And so, what was your most valuable Funko? Like what was it called? Like what made it so valuable?
Let me actually check my app. I probably still have it. If you guys
wait, you have like an app where you like keep
catalog of it?
Catalog. Oh shit!
You catalog your shit, and then,
what's this app called?
Funko bought it, so let me see what the hell they renamed. It's called Funko. That's what it is.
It's called Funko. Okay.
Yeah, so I have it up. I'm looking. Where the fuck am I?
Yeah, that's crazy, Jay.
And this commercial is brought to you by SNL Car Rental.
That was actually perfect.
Fuck it, why not? We got some downtime.
While Enrique is looking up his Funko, Jay, tell the people where they could rent one of your cars.
Oh, you could hit us up on DM. We will answer right away.
And what's the Instagram page?
SNL Car Rentals.
There you go.
I think I'm tripping, but let me see.
This boy probably got like the golden nugget in his
collection.
Okay,
so my most expensive one is the Bart Simpson that I have. It went up to $620. So I don't know. Let me try to get it. The glare.
What does this look like? Just like regular Bart?
So these are my most expensive ones right there.
It's blurry. Christine.
Yeah, it's hard to see because of. But I could definitely try to add. Enrique, if you could screenshot and send that to me, I'll add it to the video.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Can you just go like what's the top three?
So Bart Simpson is $620, and then Krusty the Clown is $490.
Krusty the Clown.
Okay. Marge Simpson is $480.
Also, the top ones are all Simpsons. Like, I mean, obviously that's your collection, but I mean, like in the Funko community.
No, they're not the top ones. There are ones. I've seen.
But Simpsons is a popular
So
collector's
the reason
item.
these are so expensive is because this is when Funko first started popping off with Pops, and they would start getting licensing agreements with certain companies. So
Also,
those,
Simpsons were one of the first ones.
yeah,
In a
so
sense.
those 4 Simpsons that I just named off, they were the first
Oh.
Simpson Pops for fucking years, for like 6 years or something, like for years.
Oh
And then they
shit.
started coming up with more. Like I guess they renewed the license with Fox or whoever the hell the Simpsons.
That's fucking interesting. I'm
But
about to
I've
buy
seen
these
somebody
shits.
buy a Funko Pop for $13,000.
What?
Yes.
Which one was that one?
Yeah,
It was a Clockwork Orange Funko Pop,
I don't even know
and there
who that
were
is.
only
The movie?
it was the dude. It was the main dude,
Okay.
and there were only 8. I
Clockwork?
think there were only 8 of those in existence out of the one that he bought, or like 10. I don't remember.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. It's
So
fucking nuts.
so in the pop community, what's like pristine? Like who's top of the
I don't know what the most expensive Funko
not
Pop.
not most expensive, but like what's the most popular? I don't know, like movie or you know
Character.
theme
Yeah,
character. in a sense,
I don't know because they literally, if you watch
it
something,
changes, right?
No, the thing is that sports shows, movies, YouTubers, whatever. If you watch something or you're into something or you're into a certain song or whatever, there's probably a Funko Pop for it. So it just depends.
Really?
Yeah. They have licensing with like everybody almost. It's fucking nuts.
I mean, I do see them everywhere. I have seen those things before. I just didn't know what they were called.
Yeah. So it depends. We call them grails. I'm sure in sneaker community you guys refer to
Yeah,
grails
we got Holy
too.
Grail sneakers. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
usually like your favorite pair.
Yeah. Everybody
For
has
us.
their different grail. At the time, mine was Headless Net Start. They made a San Diego Comic Con exclusive that you could detach his head and he's all bloody.
Damn.
Yeah, that one
Game
goes
of
for
Thrones.
That's
like
Simpsons
1,000.
your favorite one right now. Knock it off, side. That's
No, that's
Simpson
my
right there.
grail. That's the one I want to get or wanted to get at the time.
Oh, got you.
But the Simpsons are top for me, but I wouldn't say they're my favorite ones.
So
I don't
what are
know
your
which
favorite
one's like my
Top
favorite
3.
one.
No order.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a CM Punk one that's like $420.
CM Punk. What is this?
It's a wrestler.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm so disconnected.
He was also a horrible UFC fighter.
Yeah, I think he lost all his matches.
He lost there's 2 fights. He lost his 2 fights. Motherfucker thought he was Brock Lesnar or something.
Nah, but that's what it is about the Funkos too, and why like it's so easily collectible. It's just like one, they're affordable, and it's like if you don't know what to get somebody, 9 out of 10 times you can get them a Funko,
Yeah,
and it's gonna be something that they like.
Nah, I usually get them the panettone bread for Christmas.
The what?
Panettone. The red box, that dry ass cake.
Oh, bro, I remember those. Jesus Christ.
With the freaking raisins in.
The raisins. Fucking hate those shits, bro.
Yeah. No, but I think that's what it is, because like a lot of people I've seen like in offices and stuff like that, they have Funkos, and it's sort of like most of the times, oh, did you buy that? It's like, nah, somebody got it for me.
Yeah.
They know I'm a fan of this, so they picked it up for me.
That's cool.
You know?
Yeah.
That's kind of what
get you a red Power Ranger, JP.
He's referring to Hasbro had like this selfie series.
I saw the clip. I saw
you
your
saw
guys'
the clip. Yeah.
Yo, how bad was that? How bad was that?
I don't know who the fuck that was.
It was the exclusive 1-of-1 Para Ranger. Is what
bro. It's especially
Oh.
when you held it side by side. I'm like, who the fuck is
does
that?
not look like you, bro.
Nah, I know. I got bamboozled.
Oh man.
Yeah. They're not even doing that right now at the moment, I think.
You bought it on Etsy.
Nah, actually, don't sleep on Etsy, man. Etsy got some bangers. It was more like Wish.
Wish. That's what I was thinking. Wish.
I got that shit off Wish. But
That's funny.
But yeah, man. So going back to your Funko collection. So all right, so you finally got to the point where you got jaded because of the negative comments, right? And then you released a goodbye video on your YouTube, right?
So yeah, a month later, I decided that I can't just dip. I just can't dip. I explained what the situation was, and it was more like I'll see you later, not a goodbye, because who knows, I could always come back, right? And now it's rougher because of what's going on with me medically, but at the time it's like maybe I'll decide to come back. Who knows? I'll leave it open ended. and just say goodbye for now, or I'll see you later. So
And so it's been over 3 years, right?
yeah.
And now you had mentioned potentially coming back, and this is
Mhm.
kind of going to be the final chapter in the Sergeant Funko conversation. Is you said right now medically, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. You know, and one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on the podcast was because of the most current video that you released, where you provided an update to not only your friends but also your followers and your fans, and you spoke about your medical condition, and it deals with COVID. So for the people tuning in,
Mhm.
what exactly happened?
All right. So I left Tampa like in late May, and I decided to visit New Jersey. And the first week that I was in Jersey, I had a sore throat for like 5 days, but I didn't think anything of it. I didn't get tested for anything. Yeah, I just had a sore throat, and then like my mom got it, and my friend Leo got it, and whatever. I didn't think anything of it. And we fast forward 3 weeks later. I'll never forget this day until I die. June 21st of 2022. My mom wants to go to a Walgreens and get me a bunch of supplies because she has like a medical card that she get a lot of like, toothbrush, deodorant, shit like that. So I go out, I go to Burgerland. We're on Burgerland, and I don't know if it's a Walgreens or a CVS on like, you know what I'm talking about, on Burgerland close to 60th.
That's on Kennedy.
No, not the
There's
one
a
on
Wal.
Kennedy, the one on Burgerland. I don't know if it's a CVS or a.
That's 52nd Street. There's a CVS, like lower numbers.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
by
but it's a Walgreens. There is a
it's a Walgreens, right?
by the
It's
Models, right? I don't know if it's still there. I don't think the Models is still there. Yeah, it's a Walgreens. It's a Walgreens.
Okay, so I go in there and we start doing our shit, and then we go to the counter to check out. I mean, it was around like 11:30 a.m., 12. Because that morning I woke up. The night before I was out with my friend Leo. We went to a cigar lounge in Fort Lee. I had a monkey shoulder. I love monkey shoulder, and we ate some like Korean food and stuff and whatever. And I got home late. I was gonna go work out. I work out in the mornings. Even when I was there, I would go work out. And I don't know, something prevented me from going because I woke up late. I woke up around like 10 a.m. So whatever, we're in the Walgreens checking out, and I'm asking the checkout dude like a question about the card because like they wanted a charger for something. And I just remember my left arm going numb, like weird, bro, like numb and tingling, and I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And then I started getting disoriented while I was having this conversation, so I kind of just stopped talking. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? And like we're walking out of the Walgreens, and my mom said something because she wanted to get pupusas. My mom said something, and I wasn't answering her. And my mom is kind of like quick to like be offended. She's like, no me estás hablando, no estás hablando conmigo. I'm like, I looked at her like straight in the face on my mom. I don't know what's going on. I don't feel it. I need to go home. So I remember walking myself from where that Modell's was, the Walgreens, to her apartment on 60th. And it was disorienting. My left arm was like numb. I started getting chest pain. And I'm like, am I having a heart attack anymore? So I get my friend Leo to take me to urgent care because I didn't want to go to the hospital. And they run an EKG, and they're like, you should go to the hospital. So I'm like, okay. So I go to the hospital, and I'm feeling fucking weird. I'm fucking weird. They take my blood, and they see that my troponin is elevated. And that's something in the blood that your heart releases when it's stressed out and it needs help. It releases this chemical called troponin. So a normal troponin level was anywhere between like 0 or like 0.04, 0.05. I was at 0.1 at the time. So they didn't say I was having a heart attack, but like something was going on. So they ran a bunch of tests. I was in Palisade for like 2 days, and they couldn't find anything. And the cardiologist was like worried. So he's like, we're going to go do catheterization and Hackensack. And at that point, I wasn't sleeping well. I had chest pain still, whatever, And my mom got there and she's stressing me out because she is a very nervous person. She's like, oh, whatever. So we transfer me to Hackensack. They do the catheterization. They don't find anything, no blockages. They find a myocardial bridge, which it's kind of like a deformity that's common. So, obviously the heart has arteries. So with this, the artery is going into the muscle. So sometimes it's hard for the heart to get like blood properly, but it's not considered dangerous for the most part. And I always had chest pains growing up when I was like 19 and stuff. I was wondering what the fuck that was. That's what it was. It was the myocardial bridge. So during the procedure, they have to like penetrate your artery through your wrist. You can't see it on there, but I still have the scar. And they go in and they go through the heart. At some point, when they injected some kind of chemical, my heart went from like 60 to 130. And that shit was horrible. I thought I was gonna die right there. And they were freaking out too. But then like my heart got back down. Whatever.
So you weren't sedated when this was happening?
No. My arm was just numb where they put the incision, but I felt like the wires going in and everything. So, or whatever the fuck they used. They keep me in Hackensack, and after the catheterization, I start getting chest pains. I couldn't sleep because I would try to go to sleep, and it felt like I was suffocating. Whenever I was making transition from being awake to being asleep, I felt like I was suffocating. Like my brain wasn't properly telling my body, you need to breathe while you're sleeping. So I didn't sleep at all. I was having chest pain again, and I called the nurses. I kept calling the nurses. This one stupid bitch stuck me again. Didn't know how to do it. Came back like 30 minutes later. I'm like, bro, I could be having a heart attack. Turns out my troponin was at a 0.45. That was like a heart attack kind of level. I'm not sure if I had a heart attack or not, but I was never told until I was here in Virginia and people were reviewing my paper. Nobody fucking told me shit. And we told the cardiologist, I'm like, how the fuck did you not tell us this? And he's like, oh, that wasn't going to change my plan of action for you. I'm like, okay. Like, it would have still been nice to know, But while I'm in Hackensack, I also start developing new symptoms. I start feeling like my brain's on fire, like just burning, and I can't breathe well. Sure. And I would tell this to my cardiologist. He's like, it's just anxiety. Because I told you I had a myocardial bridge. It's just anxiety. And they released me after a week. He's like, I could keep you here if you want, but I think you'll do better out there. 2 days later, I end up back in the hospital. This time, East Orange, the VA hospital. They take my troponin, still high. They keep me there for like 4 days. Can't sleep. I went my first 2 months. No, more than that. But the first 2 months of this, or whatever the fuck it is that happened to me, I went without sleep. I think I got 50 minutes of sleep. And then, if I was lucky, and then because my brain felt like it was on fire 24/7. And then my body would communicate that something was wrong, and I would feel like I was suffocating. And then my wife convinced me to take a Xanax. So I took a Xanax, and I got to sleep 3 hours. And I only did that twice because I'm not about taking pills. But, I'm explaining, I went to Palisade, I went to Hackensack, I went to East Orange, and I was explaining what I'm feeling. They're like, well, we're not finding anything wrong. There's no inflammation markers in your blood. There's no, there's nothing immuno going on. And like, bro, you look at my face. Like I told you this before we started the podcast. Look at this. I've never had this in my life.
So for the listeners right now, how would you describe what's going on with your face?
It looks like I ate a cherry's asshole. My fucking this shit is red. Like from my nose.
Looks like you have eczema.
From my nose down, it looks like I have a red rash. Red rash. The skin in the back of my head, I could give you chunks like this big.
Wow.
I have like a rash or like psoriasis or something on my hand now. I've never had that in my fucking life. My eye.
Right, does it itch?
Yeah. This burns.
It looks like eczema.
So maybe I don't know. I've never been to a dermatologist, but this burns.
I'm a barber.
And then this itches like a motherfucker back here.
I see eczema like every day.
Yeah.
Did that just happen like now?
This happened probably
I should go to a dermatologist, bro.
6 months into my illness. That's when it happened.
Oh, so you've had it for a while.
Yeah. So I started getting different symptoms. So throughout my journey, I'll fast forward because I could talk about this in full detail. Right. The first month, I went to 10 different. I went in and out of the ER 10 times.
Sheesh.
Damn.
All right. The third week of me having this, I took a sleeping pill, anti-anxiety pill, because at the time I spent 7 weeks with people telling me it's anxiety, it's anxiety. I went to the VA, and they could eat my sack. I went to the VA in East Orange, and they're like, "You just have anxiety. You're the healthiest person I've seen today. You just have anxiety. There's nothing wrong with you." Neurologist,
Wow.
pulmonologist, cardiologist. Because I started to do research because I'm panicking. I feel like I'm dying. So I'm telling my wife I'm doing research on this, and you know, it seems like I could have myocarditis, or I could have MS, or I could on the things that I'm feeling. We go and we tell a cardiologist in the VA, "Hey, I want to get a cardiac MRI because that's the only test that they haven't done on me. They fucking did a catheterization on me. They didn't do a cardiac MRI, which a cardiac MRI is non-invasive, or minimal invasive. They just put like a freaking IV in you." But the guy's like, "Oh well, I don't think you have myocarditis or pericarditis, so I don't think it's necessary." Okay, so why is my troponin up? Anxiety? But whatever. I end up, my wife is like, "Listen, it's anxiety. That's what they're saying. They can't find anything wrong with you." Even though, bro, I'm telling you, the 4th of July, she wanted me to go out to Boulevard East, which, what the fuck happened to the fireworks at Boulevard East?
They do it on the other side of the river.
Yeah,
What
they
the
switch
fuck?
it.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So they're on the other side, yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so we go out there and nothing happens. And I'm telling her, like, how, like, shit happens and you get to see it. Nothing happens. But, like, my brain is burning. I feel like my heart's gonna explode. Like, I'm telling you, my brain, I couldn't move my neck. It was stiff like a motherfucker for like 6 months. I couldn't move my neck. Everything felt like it was on fire. There was one time I woke up and it felt like my spine was being crushed. I just felt like a thunder shock going up
Damn.
my spine into my head. I got deviated, but I took the pill to go to sleep the third week. And an hour into my sleep, my body woke me up with a thunderclap headache. I thought I was having a stroke. Thunderclap headache, and my heart rate went up to 120. And I had to go to Palisade, and they didn't do shit besides a CT scan. They didn't even take my blood. And they sent me on my way. They're like, "Well, you need to go see a specialist." And then a week later, I ended up at Palisades again because I started cold sweating and I lost my vision. And they're like, "Well, there's nothing wrong with you. CT scan is good. You need to go see a specialist." So my wife's like, "Listen, they're saying it's anxiety. Let's go to Virginia to see my sister." At the time, I wasn't living in Virginia. I was still living in Tampa. And just get your mind off of it. But I couldn't get my mind off of it. I was in pain 24/7, brain burning. I'm telling you, I would try to distract myself. I was playing competitive Pokemon at the time. So I brought my shit because I was planning to play in the leagues up in New Jersey and stuff. And I was trying to distract myself playing Pokemon. And there was this one night in Virginia where, like, I couldn't take it anymore. My brain felt like it was on fire. And I wasn't getting any sleep. She took videos of me, like, wailing and rolling around in the bed because the pain was so much. And we ended up in a hospital in Virginia. I want to say it's Mount Sinai, but I could be wrong. That's the first time I heard the term myocarditis. And the doctor's like, "I think you have myocarditis." And what myocarditis is an inflammation of the heart. So it could happen in many ways. It could happen from a virus. It could happen from bacteria. It could happen from autoimmune. There's a rare one called giant cell. And most of the time, if you get giant cell myocarditis, you have to get a heart transplant.
Damn.
Yeah, so people die from this shit. People die from myocarditis. And that's not the only thing I have, but at the time, there was a suspicion that is one of the things that I had or had gone through, whatever. So the VA, they refused to, like, give me one. So I had to convince, my wife was convinced by the doctors, man, that I had some kind of, like, condition, anxiety, right? But above anxiety, just something above it. But I'm like, listen, I think I need to get the cardiac MRI. Something's telling me that I need to get the cardiac MRI. And she's like, all right, fine. We spent $2,500 of our own money, of her own money. And weeks later, turns out my heart has myocarditis. Well, who would have thought?
Yeah.
It was. I have scars in like 3 different parts of my heart. So as we fast forward through this, 6 months in, I still have my head is burning. I'm in the bed 24/7. My heart, like the chest, it feels like someone's crushing my heart. It feels like someone's grabbing my heart. And you know how you guys ever gotten chest pain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know what chest pain feels like. No, this feels like it's directly my heart. Like my heart muscle is being squeezed. And it's fucking nuts. And like I don't wish this on my enemy, on my greatest enemy. It's what they're saying is that COVID came in, did its thing when I first got initially infected. And then after, 3 weeks later, a month later, they're calling this long COVID. It's a blanket term, and it could hit you in any like kind of way. And a lot of people get hit with autoimmune or like fatigue or brain fog. I got hit. My heart got hit directly. The virus hit it. I have neurological problems now. Whenever I change my posture, I feel head pressure. Now it's much better. I could actually turn my neck a little bit, but I still feel it. It feels like somebody's pulling my scalp. The neurologist is suspecting that the virus somehow created a leak in my spinal fluid. So now my brain is sitting directly on my skull instead of floating in the liquid. I'm having reactions to food. I have a burning throat. Now it's much better, but in the beginning, I didn't even want to talk because, I ate something and it was just for days, for weeks, for months, just burning like fire all the way up to my ear. I feel like someone's squeezing my ribs. I get rib pressure from time to time. I can't breathe. That's why I have this to just measure and 6 months into it, I also started developing PVCs or arrhythmias. So my heart skips now. It doesn't beat properly. It skips. And if I get too excited or if I eat a heavy meal, it'll start skipping more. I also have POTS. And that's trying to remember what the acronym stands for. It's like postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Basically, whenever I stand up or do anything, my heart will go from like 60 to 100. Like it'll just shoot up.
Like if you're running in something?
Yeah,
Like
it'll just shoot up because what they're saying is the virus somehow affected the nerves or burned the nerves that communicate with your brain to tell your your central nervous system to like give you the appropriate amount of like output. So most people, if they stand up from standing, the heart maybe will shoot up to like 80 or something, but it'll come back down immediately. For me, it'll take some time, and it shoots up to a stupid number. And then I also am going through a bradycardia too. If I stay laying down, so my heart will go below like 60. I've seen it gone down to like the 40.
show.
Yeah, I mean before everything, I would still run in my private life as an adult, and I would work out. I would do like HIIT training. So my resting heart rate was like a 55 or whatever. But I've never seen it. I've seen it get down to like the high 40s. But I've seen it get down to like the low 40s. I've been to like 5 different cardiologists ever since we got told that I had myocarditis, and they all like, well, your heart is still functioning, so we're not worried about it right now. I just have to get an echocardiogram every like 2 times a year to make sure that my heart doesn't go into failure. But
So it basically sounds like all the doctors and people that you have sought for as far as advice is concerned and treatment is basically telling you that this is something you have to deal with.
pretty much, and I'm
Damn.
in some studies. Oh, Mount Sinai's in New York. I'm stupid. I remember what I told you. It was like Mount Vernon. That's the hospital here. But anyways, there's some studies that I'm signed up for. Now, there's some studies that I sign up for and disqualify me because I didn't test myself. I didn't prove I had COVID. But I'm pretty sure it was COVID because when I was in Hackensack, my wife, my girlfriend at the time, came to visit me, and she got the same exact symptoms that I had initially. She got a sore throat for 5 days. But she tested herself and she was positive for COVID. So we're pretty sure COVID did this. One of the variants. But yeah,
But we don't know for sure that it's COVID though, right?
no, and we won't know because where the myocarditis happened in my heart is so deep that they're not able to even do a biopsy. So we're not going to know. Yeah, we're not going to know what caused it. It's pretty sure it's a virus, and I would say it is. And I'm having a lot of different fucking reactions to whatever this is, bro. It sucks. It's like living hell. I feel like I'm in hell. There are times I almost tried to kill myself with like pillows, and she had to snatch them out of my hand because I couldn't. At the time, the pain was so bad, and it's still pretty bad, but like, it's nuts. It's like I don't even know what day it is most of the time because sometimes I go to sleep at stupid hours because the pain doesn't let me go to sleep. I'll feel 1 second I'll be talking to you, and the next it feels like I can't breathe. All of a sudden, like I'm being suffocated. My heart will start skipping, and like I just get all these things all at once thrown at me. And
So right now, as you're recording this with us, in a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being like extreme pain, what are you right now?
I'm probably at a 6 right now.
Okay.
And throughout our conversation, especially when we were talking about when in the beginning when you introduced me, I guess the shot of adrenaline or whatever, getting into a conversation, I couldn't breathe that well, but I just rolled with it. And then like during our talk in Afghanistan, when I started to get animated, I got some heart skips and my heart rate. I would look down because I was checking my monitor. I got up to like 90 or whatever, just sitting, but because I was moving, it shot up. So yeah, I mean, it's every day, and it's hard, man. It's hard because I have to deal with people and everybody living their life, and I get that people can empathize, but they don't really know what this is like. So like, it's hard to relate because I've never felt anything like this before. So it's even hard to explain all the things that are going on at once. And I have other things going on, like I'm losing the vision in this. I can't see out of the side that well. I'm losing it. And I have a whole bunch of other shit going on. So we have the GoFundMe. So, okay. I decided to make a video, like you mentioned, to tell people, because I felt like I owed it to them. A lot of people have rocked with me for years. And I wanted to let them know what I was doing. Because a lot of people to this day still hit me up. When are you coming back? When are you coming back? At that point, I want to just address people that, were there with me. Let them know what was going on. Have a heart-to-heart with them. I didn't know if that was going to be my last video or not. I just wanted to fill in people what's going on. I'm still thinking about them, but I'm in no condition to do anything, and I'm kind of going through this shit. And it's not only that. I'm dealing with my health, and I'm dealing with people, and I'm dealing with financially. My wife is the only one working. I can't work, and I'm battling with the VA now to get me up to 100%. They only bump me up to 70. They don't want to fucking bump me up to 100, which is bullshit. I never fought them on that before because I was young, and I was like, fuck it, I don't give a fuck. I'll work for my money. They had me at 20%, and then they bumped me up to 40. And then I'm like, I'm done with the VA. The VA is trash. I'm just gonna work and collect my money because I never expected on this happening.
Yeah, I don't think anyone ever expects, especially when you're young, you kind of think you're invincible.
Yeah.
As far as like the GoFundMe, do you know off the top of your head exactly if people wanted to donate that are listening or watching this? And we'll put the link on here as well. But where can they go support?
So I don't know the link off the top of my head, but it is a GoFundMe that my wife's father set up.
Okay.
Right. And now if you want, I'll send you screenshots of what it looks like and all that, because I could show you on the phone, but it's going to come out all grainy.
Yeah.
But pretty much, his name is Ray Meyer. He set up the GoFundMe, and I think it's labeled like Sergeant Hernandez needs our help or something like that. But the medical bills are so crazy, and we're looking for different treatments because not everybody's treating long COVID or even has an idea. And it's not even that; it's the specific symptoms that I'm having because not everybody's having heart issues. I just got lucky. I'm having heart issues. I'm having whatever issues. So we've talked to people in New York. We've talked to people, I think, like, I want to say like Alabama or somewhere in the South. We're reaching out to different programs that don't take insurance. Yeah, and I'm taking a ton of pills. We found one doctor here who's kind of like a functional doctor, but some of the supplements that I'm taking have made it easier for me to like breathe. Yeah, so some of it is working, but we have to
Supplements like
find.
what, like vitamins and stuff like that?
Once I started, yeah, I'm taking vitamin. I'm taking nattokinase and NAC, are some of the pills I'm taking. Once I started taking nattokinase, my breathing got a little easier. The reason being is that I think I have microclotting, because every test that I take for clotting obviously comes out negative, that I don't have any clotting. But based on other people's experiences, and I saw my nails, like half of the bottom half were turning purple, and my oxygen was low. It got down to like 92, around there, and that's an emergency level. So
So the
like,
doctors, would they see your nails and they wouldn't even they wouldn't comment on
yeah,
anything?
no,
They just still
well,
said it was
you're
anxiety?
breathing normal now, because it would come and go. You're breathing normal now, and I would tell them like, I've seen my oxygen get down to 92. Even the lowest I've seen it get down to is 83. 92 is emergency. 92 is like, if it stays on 92, you need to fucking go to the hospital. Something's wrong, right? So I took it upon myself to get on Reddit, and it sucks, bro, because you read a lot of negative things on Reddit.
Yeah.
A lot of negative things. A lot of people dying, bro. We're seeing people dying that shouldn't be dying right now, and it's not. You know,
That's like a thing now, actually, because like I feel like after COVID, Jay, and you probably seen this on your Facebook page too, but I feel like a lot of young people have been dying of like
a
heart
lot of athletic
attacks,
males are dying. Yeah, that's because
just like watching TV.
myocarditis hits athletic males hard, real hard. For some reason, for whatever the fuck, it hits them hard. A lot of, yeah. So yeah, I mean, Matthew Perry just died. People said he drowned first, but no, they were called there for like, they suspect a cardiac arrest.
Yeah, it said cardiac arrest in the report.
Man. So
Yeah, R.I.P. to Matthew Perry.
yeah, and fucking the reason I made the video, what led me to, what motivated me to, is because, again, I watch wrestling. When Bray Wyatt died from a heart attack at 36, because he had COVID, and then he started getting heart problems. That dude was the reason I was watching WWE for the most part. His storytelling, that hit me so fucking hard, and the fact that he died around the same age that I'm at, and from heart issues, I'm like, all right, I need to make a video of like talking to, because I don't know. People keep telling me I'm fine, but people also told me for 7 weeks that I didn't have anything, and it was all anxiety. So people could be wrong, right? And when it comes to the GoFundMe, I didn't want to start it. I didn't want to do it. I hate asking people for shit. I hate it. I don't, even when I need it, I fucking hate it. I don't know. Maybe it was the military. Maybe it was the way my dad raised me. I don't fucking know. I hate asking for help. I hate fucking taking help. But the fucking medical bills right now are so fucking crazy that, and for what we need to do, right, to see if I could get back to I'll be real with you. I don't think I could ever get back to what I was. Never. If some miracle, if God is out there or whatever entity is out there, and they want to give me a miracle, shit, I'll take it. But I don't think I'll ever get back to what I was. I kind of have to live in this new normal. I'm pretty sure my life has been cut short, unfortunately. I don't know how short. Doctors keep telling me, "Oh, you'll live to 80." Bro, the way that I feel, I doubt that very much. And my wife is very optimistic. You know, she's like, "No, you're gonna get back to where you were, and we're gonna go." I always wanted to go to Japan. I never got to go to Japan. She's like, "We're gonna go to Japan. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it." But like,
Sounds like your wife, man, has been your rock throughout this entire process, man.
she's had to be. Yeah, she's had to be. And she, like, you know, she tells me, we get into fights a lot because I'm here and I'm bitter and I'm angry and I'm in pain and I don't know what else to do. It's almost like I'm like a dog that's scared and trying to survive at any cost. So like, he'll bite or he'll like do whatever. She gets all like my wrath here because that's the only person I communicate. But at the same time, I know that, yeah, she's the one that's taking care of me and, you know, making sure that I take my pills and that everything is good. She cooks dinner and she like takes me to my doctor's appointments and stuff like that. So I'm very grateful. It's just nobody. Who else am I gonna like? I can't. She's the one that has to deal with me. Unfortunately, you know, I'm not saying it's right, but it's just like right now talking to you, my scalp is burning. You know, and I have to deal with it.
Yeah.
Nobody else could. like, oh, why are you so angry and shit? Because like I don't sleep that well. I sleep better than I did in the beginning, but I don't sleep that well, and I'm in pain 24/7. So like, and I don't. I'm very pessimistic or realistic. So I don't know. I don't see this going in my favor. But I'm alive right now, and I try to make the best of it. And I'm a real like realistically, I need help. So we like her dad made the GoFundMe, and we have it there. And our goal so far is 20,000, but we'll probably need more based on the medicines that I have to take and the shit that I have to do and the places I have to go to and all that bullshit.
Yeah.
But
And I mean,
yeah,
listen, man, obviously we'll plug your information, man, and try to
mm,
spread the word as much as possible, man. I truly hope that, that there's a light at the end of the tunnel for you, man, and that you're able to overcome this,
yeah.
and hopefully it puts you in a better, headspace. And also for the record, I know people were hating on the ghost, but the ghost came through. The ghost
The
has been
what?
coming through.
The what?
The ghost.
Oh, the ghost. Yes, the ghost
Yeah.
came through. Yeah, yeah, the ghost. People don't hate the ghost. I always used to like fuck with her on the camera, and people are like, you bully the ghost so much, and blah blah blah. But that's just me. I fuck around with people that I love, Like, yeah. But
Nah, that's always like one of
it's
the
definitely
things.
changed me. I know I'm more of a cynical person now. I have so much spite in me just because like it feels every day like I'm being tortured and I don't know what to do. And especially when I feel my heart doing the things, I can feel it stop. Like I take my pulse and I'll feel it stop, and it starts pumping again. And it's fucking nuts. It's like I feel it in my throat, and that's one of the many symptoms that I go through every day. So unfortunately, she has to deal with my anger sometimes, and I wish it wasn't the case. I had to turn down 2 jobs, bro. I had to turn
Damn.
down 2 jobs. I finally got my dream job. I was gonna take charge of the veteran organization here in Washington, the University of Washington, or it's called George Washington University. I was gonna lead like the veteran department to like come up with programs and shit. I was finally get to work exclusively with the veteran community. And life said, "Fuck you." The
Yeah, but
last,
we talked about this, man, and I think
yeah,
sometimes, we talked about this offline, but sometimes, whether you believe in a higher power or not
yeah,
is kind of irrelevant to the point. But, I'm a firm believer that sometimes things happen in life because it's supposed to lead you to a different path, man. And
mm,
maybe, part of the trajectory in your life path is maybe this is something that inspires you to become an advocate, right? Or maybe this is something that inspires you to start a non-for-profit, you know?
yeah. I know we talked about that, and that would be something cool. I just, if I ever get to the point where I can actually handle it, I would love to do that. I would love to do that because, like you said, and I recognize, I got people to follow me when it came to toys. So I'm sure I could have a voice when it comes to this, which is more serious. But I had to get to a point where I could do it first. Right now, like I'm in so much. You remember I told you I wasn't a 6. I'm in an 8 right now with my stuff and
Yeah.
stuff. And
Now we'll try to, because I know it's starting to get to the. I could tell on your face that it's starting to.
I mean, it's fine. I could keep talking. It's just leading a non-profit and coming on. That's a whole nother level. I
Yeah.
have to. I always said, told my wife, if I ever do recover from this, the first thing I'm doing is I'm going to New Jersey and slapping the cardiologist in the face because he told me nothing was wrong. Nothing was wrong the whole time, and he treated him like he knew better. Which, yeah, okay, he's a heart doctor, he's a cardiologist. Well, I'm a fucking slapping that bitch with the back of my hand.
So, kind of to wrap things up,
Yeah.
man. For the people that are tuning in, and obviously, I don't want this to be the last video of Sergeant Funko, and hopefully, you being on with us, man, has inspired you to kind of maybe do a couple more videos. But
Hmm.
until then, where can people follow you on social media?
Well, all my hand. I don't have a Twitter. I have an Instagram and I have a YouTube, and they're Sergeant Funko. So it's SGT period FUNKO. Those are my handles on it.
All right, and then we'll definitely plug in the GoFundMe as well so people could support, man. Enrique, brother, thank you so much, dude. I know that you kind of, trooped this for the last 2 hours and change and spoke to us about your entire life. And that's ultimately what we wanted to do. We wanted to capture, excuse me, a piece of your life and, be able to upload that so that the people could tune in and really get to know your experience and what you've been up to, man. So we appreciate you a lot. Jay, anything you want to add?
Amazing person.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys for having me on here. Thank you for putting me on your
Damn.
platform.
That was like the sweetest thing, Jay. That was nice to hear, man.
That was sweet.
Oh, the man's tougher than nails, bro.
Yeah. Nah, for sure, Enrique. For sure,
I
man.
get a
Salute to
fucking
you.
headache and I'm out for a week. Like I'm not even being funny. Like I don't handle no pain, bro.
It
Like
sucks, bro.
I'm terrible.
I don't want to handle this. I don't want to. I can't imagine it. I don't even know I'm still alive. But yeah, I
Keep
appreciate you
fighting,
guys.
bro.
Yeah,
Keep
nah,
fighting,
man. Don't give up, man. For sure, man. Don't give up, man. I kind of hate to end on such like a sour note.
True story.
There we go. For everybody tuning in, thank you so much as always. Make sure to rise up. Until next time, peace.
Peace.